Well, welcome once again. This is the Doctor of Digital at the Doctor of Digital podcast. The purpose of the show is to transform your business and life with education and inspiration. I introduce busy business leaders to trends in business, technology, and marketing to highlight people you should know. Have you ever wondered why your Google ads seem to be burning through your budget without delivering the results you desperately need? In this episode, we dive deep into the world of pay per click advertising with John Horn, a visionary who's revolutionizing how small businesses approach digital marketing. John shares his journey from warehouse worker to CEO, revealing the insider secrets that have helped thousands of businesses overcome their PPC struggles and achieve remarkable ROI. John Horn is not your average marketing expert. As the CEO of StubGroup, he's guided over 2,000 clients to success, managing more than 15,000 campaigns that have generated over 3 million leads and a staggering $400 million in client revenues. His unique approach, the StubGroup Difference, has become a game changer in the industry, focusing on transparency, continuous optimization, and dedicated support. With a track record of navigating complex compliance issues and preventing account suspensions, John has positioned himself as the go to expert for businesses seeking not just ad management, but a true partner in their growth journey. During this episode, we'll do a deep dive into the changes and hot topics of the PPC code and its biggest challenges and growth. I will leverage the expertise of my guest and how to navigate the unique dynamics of the field. By the end of this episode, you'll be better equipped to know what to do, and I encourage you to contact my guest, John Horn, CEO of the StubGroup. And with that, I'd like to welcome John to the program. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic, Mick. Good to see you.
You bet. So, I'm really curious about this field. It's a very dynamic field. So, I'm really wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the story. How did you get in this field in the first place?
Yes, I remember, let's see, it's over a decade ago. I have this memory of being on the phone doing cold calling, nothing related yet to Google Ads. I'm on the phone calling people, trying to get them interested in renting email lists. And I'm on the phone, and my dog is barking in the background because I'm working from home. And people don't usually work from home, a decade ago, nearly as commonly as now. So I'm trying
Sure.
to talk in this conversation, get my dog be quiet. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know what, this really isn't working. Trying to do this cold calling to people, get them interested in renting email lists, etc.
Right.
And fast forward a little bit beyond that, and we start what StubGroup is today, focused on Google Ads. And the beauty of that is that rather that kind of outbound cold calling, hey, are you interested in this? We're able to reach people who are searching for something right now. And we know, okay, this is the right person. They literally typed into a search engine what they want. And now it's our job to get in front of them and say, hey, we've got what you're looking for. We're the solution.
And so it's been about 10 years or so, and you even made a comment about you being from warehouse work as CEO. So it's quite a change. So what sort of changes have you seen, let's say, in the last 10 years in the course of your career?
Yeah, so many changes across marketing, across Google and the other platforms. One of the big ones that I'll say that just comes to mind is that change with mobile devices becoming so prevalent. So many people using mobile
Right.
to live life and find things. Back in the day, it used to be, all right, you kind of design campaigns thinking about how your website looked like on a computer, and there was always the conversation of, oh, should we have separate campaigns targeting people who are on their phones versus
It's true.
computers?
Yep.
And over time, it's just become, look, way more than 50% of traffic, generally speaking, is on mobile. You really can't be like, oh, my website's good on desktop, not good on mobile. It has to be a unified experience. And now it's really more people focused. We know you're going to use
Mhm.
different devices when you interact with our brand. I really don't care as much if you're on your phone or your computer right now. I just care who you are, what are you searching for, and making sure I'm in front of you at the right times in that journey.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. There's a lot of things going on in marketing, like as in technology in general. I'm curious if you could address some of the issues that you feel are the hot topics currently, because there's a lot of buzz about certain things in the industry.
Absolutely. The buzzword these days is definitely AI. Everybody is saying AI
Mm,
interminably. And really, AI is not new to most of the platforms. They've been using AI and machine learning for a long time in
great.
controlling things like how much you bid for traffic and in indicating, which ads appear for which searches, etc. I think the big thing with AI is because it's become more consumer focused or more visible, I should say, to consumers. So now when
Okay.
they search on Google, they see AI overviews come up. And of course, they're also able to use things like ChatGPT to start their searches or end their searches from there instead of even going to Google. And
Right.
so those types of things and navigating how is that impacting user behavior and how we actually create and serve ads. It's probably the hottest topic right now.
Mm. So, with that, and what I've got a little bit of backgrounds with changes in hot topics, what would you say that a business owner and people should start looking for now? So, you could talk a little bit about what recommendations you would say at the current state we're in.
Yeah, I would say to most business owners, don't get too caught up in those buzzwords. Like they are important, understanding how AI is impacting
Mhm,
things
mhm,
is important. And obviously agencies like StubGroup are spending a lot of time assessing that and figuring out how that impacts things. But a lot of businesses really need to go back to the basics sometimes. They're always
okay,
chasing the next big thing, the next shiny object. And at the end of the day, you need to have a really good product or service that people need, that you are selling at a competitive price point, that you are demonstrating to your consumers, potential leads, potential customers, that you have credibility elements, people like you, they're
mhm,
leaving reviews, etc. And you've just got to run solid advertising campaigns, leveraging those things, getting people to the right place in your sales pipeline, and then following up with that and turning that into orders. And for most businesses, focusing on those fundamentals is often a lot more important and is going to move the needle for their business rather than always chasing that next new buzzword.
and along those lines, one of the things that you always interested in marketing, and here's one reason that people don't like marketers because it didn't work. So a lot of people want to know what's the difference and why you among a plethora of choices that they have, and what would you say you could offer?
Yes, a lot of advertisers will come to us and they'll say, "Hey, we tried Google Ads or Meta Ads or
Mhm,
whatever, and
sure.
it didn't work," like you
Mhm,
said. And there are certainly times where it doesn't work, where a business does not have the right model for that type of advertising channel. But a lot of times, what happens is they did not test it properly. They tried to do it DIY, or they worked with a cheap freelancer or agency that didn't really set things up properly, and so they threw money out there. It's easy to spend money with Google, easy to spend money with Meta. The hard part is doing it in a very, well thought through way that's actually going to
mhm,
turn into more dollars in your pocket. And so we come along the side of those clients and we say, all right, first of all, tracking is really important. We need to understand what is coming from the campaigns you're running. So we help them set up tracking so that whatever they're trying to accomplish, form submissions, phone calls, orders, whatever it is, as much as possible, we're identifying, okay, how many of those are coming from the advertising campaigns, which parts of the campaigns, which ads, which keywords are working, which ones aren't working. And that is how you improve over time, by always cutting the waste, you know, getting rid of the things that aren't working, identifying what's working well, double downing on that, scaling that, and then continuing to optimize over time.
and when you say time, could you elaborate a little bit about that? Because again, people would say, "Okay, I want results." So can you get results in a month, 6 months, a year? What does that time frame look like for a business?
Absolutely. Generally, I answer that question in two parts. So the first part is we can very quickly, through paid advertising, see if we're getting any traction. We can see, are people engaging with our ads? Is there search volume for what we're targeting? It's different and better in that way than SEO, the organic side of things, where you kind of create content and hope that Google will rank that content at some point, and maybe they will,
Right.
maybe they don't. With ads, you can very quickly see, are we getting traction or not? However, traction doesn't necessarily mean profitable dollars in the door yet. And there, we generally recommend to most clients, hey, we need to be working together for at least 3 months to really build up the data to see what's working, what's not working, to have a really good trajectory of performance coming in. That doesn't mean it will necessarily take 3 months to have good results, but that's the timeline we set to say, okay, we got to test it for at least this long, and we should see good things happening by the end of that timeline.
And what's the connection between running the ads and SEO? Do they work together? Do they work in tandem? How does that work? What's the relationship in terms of what you recommend for businesses?
Great question. So algorithmically, they don't really impact each other. So you can have good or bad SEO and good or bad ads, and they're not per se impacting each other. But they definitely impact how people view you. So when someone is searching, it's been proven that if they see both ads as well as organic results for your website and business, they're exponentially more likely to click through to you and to trust you than if they just saw an ad or just saw an organic listing. So the best case scenario for any business is to have great SEO and great advertising
Mm.
capturing, as much real estate as possible on the search engine results pages and communicating to the people searching that you're the right solution because you're coming up here, you're coming up here, coming up here, and so forth.
Now, I've heard different numbers about how many touches you have to have before somebody reaches out. And what would you say, or what is your background show or demonstrate?
Yeah, like you said, there's so many numbers there. Some people will be like, hey, 17 times people have to see
Mm.
ads before they recognize your brand. Some people will be like 40. At the end of the day, it really depends on the business and the industry you're in. There's more direct response industries where it's like, okay, I'm searching for something, I need it right now, and I'm going to choose between one of these three people. I need a plumber. I'm not spending a month finding a plumber. My sink is leaking right now. I'm going to
Sure.
call someone. First
Yep.
person who answers, they got the business. Whereas, if you're selling this cool, stylish new outfit, I might need to see that for 10, 20 times before I really connects and be like, oh yeah, that looks really cool. I should go purchase that. So it really depends on the business that you're in.
And it might be in terms of price too, right? A plumber is an immediate need, but if I want a luxury item, I'm going to be looking for it because I'm not pressed for it, but I would like to have it after a while.
Absolutely. The higher that price point is, generally speaking, the longer that journey is going to be. You might have an impulse buy for a $10 widget. People like, yeah, I'll buy it or not right now. If you're going car shopping, you're doing a lot of searching, going around. You've got probably the last couple of years worth of ads that you've seen that are subliminally there. That's why the auto advertisers are always throwing those TV ads out there. So definitely price point plays a big role in that journey.
And could you say a little bit about, in terms of how people are searching as far as a funnel is concerned too, because the funnel has been changing. That's one of the changes that people have seen. What's the difference between the sales funnel today as opposed to 5, 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I would say people are very cognizant of the money that they're spending whenever you see, economic issues where people are concerned, where inflation's impacting things, etc. They're always holding on to those dollars a little bit more tightly and
Mhm.
more likely to give up those dollars to people who they believe are providing value to them. So when you're building those marketing funnels, it's all about, okay, how can I provide value to people in exchange for what I want from them? So if it's all right, I'm trying to just get people onto my email list first so I can nurture them. What is really valuable information that I can provide to them? Or podcast content like this one. How can I provide really great podcast episodes to get people interested, coming back, feeling like there's value, so that then when you make an ask of them to say, hey, purchase this product or this service, they trust you, they like you, they feel like they've gotten so much value from you already that, yeah, they're happy to give some value back to you in exchange for even more value that you're offering to them for that price point.
And I just think of it too in terms of the economy, the general economy. How's the economy affected marketing? And could you say a little bit about it? Because the financial situation could be a little bit precarious at this point.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen decreases in performance for clients who are selling, let's say, discretionary products that would fall into discretionary purchasing. There were booms, especially in the e-commerce space during the pandemic, during that time period when there was kind of some extra cash to go around, and people were also purchasing so much online, and a lot of that has dropped. A lot of brands saw significant decreases in revenue year over year, kind of after those high points. And I've also seen switches in behavior from people more moving towards used type products as opposed
Mm,
to new products when possible. So we have a client in the camera space, and they sell both new and used cameras.
okay.
And whenever we see a dip in the economy, the used sales spike, the new generally goes down because people are looking again to save every dollar possible.
Interesting. So I'm curious now that you've said a lot about the different industries and a person is listening to you, what sort of actionable tips is it's really important to people? Okay, I've heard this, but what could I do now? So what kind of actionable tips could you offer?
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're running advertising right now, let's say Google specifically, you're running ads on Google. I would encourage you to really dig in and understand where are your ads serving and what searches are triggering your ads. And this is true whether you're doing it DIY, you've got in-house team members, you've got an agency, whatever. There are a lot of campaign types that Google has right now where your ads might be showing on places you don't realize. Performance max campaigns is one campaign type to really look into. And
Okay.
then also, even if you're running just regular search campaigns, really dig in and see what search terms are triggering your ads, because often you'll see opportunity to cut waste. You'll see that the
Mhm.
system is showing your ads for not fully relevant traffic. And if you exclude that traffic, you stop spending money on that traffic and you have that money to spend on the really good stuff. So just dig in, know where your ads are showing and to whom they're showing.
Interesting. So if a person wants then to take action, that would be to reach out to you. How do they get a hold of you? Because you do have a significant amount of background and obviously know the field really well. How does a person reach out and get in touch with you?
Yeah, best place is through our website, stubgroup.com. We'd love to do a free consult with you. So if you're currently running advertising, we'll look at what you're doing and give you our feedback. If you're not running advertising, we'll look at the market and put together an action plan for how we could help you get into advertising.
That's a great offer. John, thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate your expertise, and it's a great story coming from warehouse worker to CEO. So keep up the good work. But thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
You bet. So, if you like these kinds of conversations, and I hope you do because I enjoy them and I learn a lot as well too, make sure that you like, subscribe, positively review, and share the Dr. Digital podcast with everyone else. And I do want to thank those people who are supporters of the program, and that is both the promoters of Burning America and On Track, Ian Hunter, for their support of the program. And of course, if you want to reach out to me, I'm always available at the Idea to Author Coach. I got a group on Facebook. Encourage you to join. I help business leaders, CEOs, and entrepreneurs break through their obscurity through written presentations, building credibility and authority. So, the Idea to Author Coach. If you've got an idea, let's chat about it and let's get it out there. Until the next time, this is the Dr. Digital signing off. Deus Volt.